Nigeria's northeast region, comprising Adamawa, Borno, Yobe, Gombe, Bauchi, and Taraba states, is an agricultural hub with the potential to feed the entire nation. But this God-given potential is not properly harnessed because of the region's inability to use mechanized farming skills for optimum production. The decade-old Boko Haram crisis that led to the destructions of many farmlands is also another big challenge faced by local farmers, especially in Adamawa, Borno, and Yobe states. These two factors are the major bottlenecks faced by farmers in the northeast despite abundant arable land for agricultural production. But surely, change is inevitable. At the end of the last quarter of 2018, a group of like minds came together with a vision and commitment to change the narrative. As a result, the Northeast Commodity Association, Necas, was born in Yola at the heart of Fombina Kingdom, with Sadiq Daware as its pioneer national chairman. The Northeast Commodity Association was founded on the premise of ensuring better ways of harnessing the rich agricultural potentials of the region. The bulk of the people are engaged in agriculture, though at subsistence level, with low results. But the changing dynamics in the sector means a new thinking, like that of Necas, will help make a difference for farmers in the region, especially that the area is reeling out of insurgency and other challenges.
That the northeast part of Nigeria have suffered a lot. Suffered even before the coming of Boko Haram. The region, northeast part of Nigeria, will be considered as the poorest zone, not only in the country, but in the entire continent. And that is what informed a group of young men to change the narratives. Now, if you want to eradicate poverty, if you want to employ people, if you want to create wealth within a smallest period of time, then you have to consider agriculture. And that is what informed this group, young men and women, to establish what we call Northeast Commodity Association. And the objective is to support farmers in the region and scale up their own capacity by one, providing them with quality inputs, giving them a good training on best agronomic practice, then linking them to the market. That is exactly what informed the creation of the Northeast Commodity Association, and it has started working now.
We realize that if you compare our region with other regions like the South-West, like the South-South, and all the other regions, Northeast is certainly behind all of these regions. And what is the reason? The reason is not far-fetched. One, you know what is happening in the Northeast in the last 10 years, the Boko Haram issue, which has almost affected all the Northeast states. And people are in camps, people have moved away from the region, people have nothing doing, so many infrastructure were destroyed and devastated. How do we come up with programs that will actually rebuild the Northeast region? These are some of the things that drove us into creating the Northeast Commodity Association.
Because of the Boko Haram and other vices. And we know that a peasant farmer cannot farm 1 hectare because of lack of resources. And when you study the guidelines of ACO-borrowers is to help a smallholder farmer. And that gives us the opportunity to key into the program of ACO-borrowers program. And we form the structure all over, from the national, state, local government up to unit level, political unit level.
The new thinking of the Northeast Commodity Association, no doubt, revolutionized agriculture in not just the region, but Nigeria.
And I'm here to express my appreciation with the modern equipment that have been made use in my farm, like some tractors that we requested from Necas, Northeast Commodity Association of Nigeria, and they help us, and I really appreciate their service that they have been rendered to my farm in terms of clearing the farm and other farming activities. And with this support that we are getting from this organization, we can say that if we can have more organization like Necas, we can make farming system to be improved, not only in Adamawa State, in Nigeria at large.
Necas, as part of its efforts to reform agricultural activities from a mere subsistence farming to a full-blown mechanization farming, deployed 600 modern tractors in the region worth billions of naira. Thanks to President Muhammadu Buhari, whose regime gave birth to Anko Borrowers program aimed at increasing bank financing of agricultural sector, as well as reduce the level of poverty among smallholder farmers and create jobs, while assisting smallholder farmers to grow from subsistence to commercial level.
I have high hopes about the prospects of the CBN's Anchor Borrowers program and its potentials to create millions of jobs and lift thousands of smallholder farmers out of poverty.
This was also made possible with the full support of the Central Bank Governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, who graciously approved the participation of Necas as a commodity association in the Northeast for the 2018 Anko Borrowers program. Necas, in collaboration with the participating financial institutions, signed and procured 600 units of brand new tractors. This is the first time any commodity association, not even government, is deploying such amount of tractors in the region. The deployment of the tractors will not only help farmers, but will serve as a job creation strategy for the teeming youth, right from the operators, tractor mates, technicians of each tractors in others.
Even if you are providing the best of inputs to farmers, best certified seed, good fertilizer, herbicide and whatever, and if they continue using hoe to cultivate their land, then definitely they cannot compete with other farmers in the rest of the world. Having studied this challenge, we have approached our own bank to procure tractors. And luckily enough, our bank, then Bank of Agriculture, has graciously approved that we should open discussion with vendors that can provide us with tractors. And we have approached Tata John Deere in Lagos, looking at the capacity of the association, seriousness of its members, and honesty in doing business. They have now agreed to deploy 600 tractors to support farmers in the Northeast for the association to pay over a period of time. Now, we have been providing our farmers under Anko Borrowers program with quality inputs. Now, deployment of the tractors have increased the capacity of our farmers. A farmer that has been cultivating a hectare or less than 1 hectare before can now comfortably cultivate up to 3, 4, or 5 hectares, courtesy of deployment of the mechanization input. So this is what informed us, and it has started yielding a very good result in the Northeast.
In the 6 states within our region, how many states have a tractor of its own? How many states that has tractor hiring unit that has serviceable tractor in the states? I doubt very much if you can find 1 or 2 that has tractor. And you can check statistics of every state. So we know the tractor business is a very difficult business. We know how difficult it is because we brought experts. We tried to find out why it's not working. with the state government or at the federal government level. We try to find out why tractor business is not working and why is it that state governments cannot maintain. And we decided to key into the business to see that we need to help a less privileged farmer, and which it is our priority.
After assembling all the tractors, slots for operators was advertised, and successful operators were put into test and scrutiny for Necas to ascertain their level of expertise. Necas' approach in the selection of operators is all-inclusive and multi-dimensional in nature. 2 female operators broke the jinx of gender barrier and became the best tractor operators among their peers.
Amina shiga wannan aikin ma tun ban yi aure ba na yi. Ina roƙon 'yan mata ya kamata zaman banza bai ba, mu ringa yin neman sana'a.
Godewa Allah da Allah ya sa ni a cikin aikin na cikin maza. Ni mace ce. Na sha'awan shiga aikin da maza suke yi don nima in zama mai kwazo.
They perform much better than some of the men. So we are happy. We believe that with this type of process, women in the country will be very happy. They can compete favorably with their men folks, and once their capacity is increased, then definitely the capacity of their entire zone will be increased.
By 2019, Necas decided to officially commission and flag off the distribution of the 600 tractors in Yola. The historic ceremony was attended by the Governor Ahmadu Umar Fintri, Lamido Adamawa, Muhammadu Barkindo Ali Mustafa, top government functionaries, development partners, as well as farmers drawn from across the Northeast. The Governor commended Necas for changing the narratives in the region's agricultural sector. Shortly after the commissioning and flagging off ceremony, Necas immediately distributed the tractors across states of the region for farmers' optimum use. Similarly, in Yobe State, the executive governor of the state, Mai Malabuni, also spearheaded the commissioning of the tractors with words of encouragement and support to Necas. To ensure the prudent management of the tractors, Necas established a situation room in Yola and Abuja and installed the state-of-the-art equipment that would track all the tractors. Subsequently, Necas also distributed farm inputs such as fertilizer, herbicides, seeds and seedlings, water pumps to farmers in the region. This is to help farmers have a robust yield on their farms. The consistent help has made farmers to grow a variety of cash crops, including cotton. Against all odds, Necas is on the move of making Northeast the food basket of the nation.
Necas is thinking beyond Anchor Borrowers program because in the near future we want to go into all value chain of agricultural sector. That's from production, processing and even marketing aspect of it, because we are creating other outfits that can fit properly to engage in these activities. That is our projection.
We decided to key into the policy of General Muhammad Buhari to help him succeed in his thinking towards food sufficiency in Nigeria, and which we are giving out the results.
Our objectives for this period of time, as I've said earlier, one is to scale the capacity of our farmers, to build at least 2 million farmers over a period of 10 years in our database, so that at least we can tell Mr. President that please thank you. We will tell the central bank governor, thank you. We have now reached a stage whereby we can feed this country and export to other countries of the world.
We are not just restricting ourselves to the issue of agriculture. There are so many issues concerning the development. Agriculture is one of them. In Necas, we started with the basic one, that is agriculture. But in future, we think of moving to other aspects. in terms of commerce. We have already visited some other parts of this world. We visited Qatar, visited some other parts of the world, and we are trying to align our farmers, to align our people with those people in Qatar in terms of producing what they require.
That dream of becoming the food basket of the country was cut short following the activities of end-SARS protesters, which gradually spread to all parts of the country. What seems to be a legitimate protest by youth calling for an end to police brutality was later hijacked by hoodlums, consequently leading to mass looting of both government and private buildings. In northeast Nigeria, the Northeast Commodity Association, Necas, became one of the primary targets of the hoodlums in all the states. Sunday, 25th October 2020, was the day Necas lost billions of naira to the looting spree in Yola, as more than 100 tractors were looted in a broad daylight. The hoodlums were seen in their numbers, holding weapons and pushing the tractors to their destination, an atmosphere semblance to that of anarchy.
To be honest with you, what I don't understand is that how on earth will somebody think or imagine that he can be able to pick tractor and go away with it? You can imagine the size of a tractor, whether you can hide it under your bed, whether you can hide it in your pocket, whether you have a room that you can hide a unit of a tractor. First. Secondly, that in looting the tractors, some of the tractors were vandalized. I begin to wonder, what will you achieve in vandalizing a tractor that is meant to support you? Those tractors were procured purposely to support farmers, and larger percentage of people, particularly in Adamawa and in their entire northeast, are farmers. So if you have more than 80-90% of the people who are farmers, and you have deployed those number of tractors to support them, then their children now will turn to come and vandalize those tractors. I begin to wonder which type of people we are and which country we belong to. So it's a very sad situation. It's something that we hope and pray that we will not see that kind of situation again.
The ugly incident is coming at a time when Necas is recovering from the impact of COVID-19 pandemic that affected agricultural activities in the region. The state governor, Ahmad Umaru Fintri, immediately swung into action by imposing 24-hour curfew and subsequently gave 12 hours ultimatum to looters to return the loot or else have their CFO revoked and the house demolished using the power of executive order should the loot be found in their homes.
Part of the provisions of the order is a sanction that will attract withdrawal of CFO and demolition of every house that harbors any of the stolen properties. Law-abiding citizens should cooperate with the security agency to ensure this is enforced to the latter.
This directive seems to have yielded positive results as the hoodlums began to return looted items, among which are the tractors. In the process, substantial number of tractors were recovered, but many have turned to mere scraps as the looters have succeeded in vandalizing the tractors. A major setback to farmers and consumers alike.
Our experience here in Adamawa was a harsh one, very bad experience. Seeing what we believe is a source of relief to our people, seeing it destroyed by the hoodlums, who doesn't know the value of what we have on ground for their parents. It pains me a lot.
Most of the recovered tractors were taken to police headquarters, police barracks, and Dobeli police station in Yola North. Their present state is enough to break anyone's silence, let alone farmers who surely depend on the machines for optimum yield each cropping season.
We have about 110 tractors, and almost all the 110 tractors in Adamawa, brand new John Deere tractors, were affected. It's really quite unfortunate and really sad, not only to Necas, but to Adamawa State, and in fact to the Northeast region in general.
The Adamawa State Police Command have also succeeded in arresting suspects in connection with the looted tractors. If found guilty, the looters will face the full wrath of the law. The looting spree also affected Necas warehouses in the states, as farm inputs such as fertilizer, herbicides, seedlings, and other inputs were also looted. Even the rooftops of the warehouses were not spared. The Adamawa State Chairman Looted Items Recovery Committee, Bashir Ahmed, who is also the Secretary to Adamawa State Government, says the committee has so far recovered a number of tractors during their operations in the state, with much optimism that the rest will also be recovered.
Quite a number have actually been retrieved and taken into custody by Necas themselves, and here coupled we have about 6 or 7. One just came in fact it was being driven in, and quite a number cannibalized, but I strongly believe there is more to be recovered.
On the 3rd of November 2020, National Chairman of Necas, Sadiq Umar Daware, inaugurated a high-powered committee to ascertain the level of damage caused by the hoodlums to the Necas farm implements arising from the recent post-NSRS protests in the state. On the same day, Necas officials also paid a courtesy call on Governor Ahmad Umar Fintri. The National Chairman of Necas, Sadiq Daware, commended Governor Ahmad Umar Fintri for his approach in dealing with the crisis as well as recovery of its structures.
It is no longer a news that when this unfortunate situation started, you have mentioned it top and clear to all people of Adamawa State that nobody should associate himself with this type of ugly situation, nobody should harbor any looted item, and the matter of fact, you say anybody found to have been associated or kept this thing should house his house will be demolished and he will be dealt with accordingly. And it has helped in no small measure in making sure that we have recovered substantial amount and quantity of our looted properties. Your Excellency, we thank you for that.
And we equally want to tell you that most of the non-food items have substantially been recovered. And the whistleblowing policy is working.
The looting spree has indeed left both Necas and farmers in the region in a state of dilemma and has cut short farming activities in the entire region unless development partners such as the CBN, Bank of Agriculture, hasten ways to get agricultural activities back to life.
Those tractors that are meant for Adamawa State are not there again, unless the intervention of His Excellency the President or the intervention of the Governor of Central Bank as they used to, then farmers in the Northeast, particularly in Adamawa, will have themselves to blame. Because if we have started increasing your capacity, now you cannot again cultivate 3 or 5 hectares. You have to go to 1 acre to cultivate because the tractors are not there. You know it will have an effect in not only in its own income, but even in the economy of the country. 1, we are also mindful of the fact that investors should know that in maybe 50, 70 years, those type of incidences happen only once. So we will call these people, we will train them, we will change their cycle to make sure that they embrace, they appreciate effort of investors so that our zone will not be considered as the worst zone of the country.
Government should come in and double its effort towards the intervention towards agriculture, because if you can see our last wet season have a lot of challenges, particularly the drought. So if there's not any intervention during the dry season, we have a problem in food production in the country. So the CBN governor, the central bank, and the governor of the Adamawa State and Mr. President should redouble their efforts towards the intervention of agriculture to engage our youths and our less privileged farmers to go back to farm so that we have enough food for our country.
We are doing what you requested Nigeria to do. We are participating the way you want us to participate, and we need to be encouraged also by giving us the desired support.
Almost all the farmers in Adamawa State, they rely on Necas tractors. All the tractors are vandalized. So what will you expect? Certainly, farmers in Adamawa are affected. Even farmers in Taraba, because some of these tractors will send them up to Taraba and other neighboring states to do work. Unfortunately, this service will not be available to them. So it's really a sad situation and a sad moment, not only for Necas, but for the Ankoboros program generally in the Northeast.
This is coming at a time when the Food and Agricultural Organization categorically projected that about 9 million people are facing food crisis and 22 million could face food crisis by next year, 2021, and largely from northern states. With all the distractions meted against Necas facilities, the future still looks bright. This may just be another beginning of many things to come.